I can't remember he's strong. When I'm lonely, I can't remember he's a friend. People do not make you dissolve your loneliness. I don't care who's around you. You can be lonely.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't care how many friends you got.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no friends. I chased them all off. But my friends, if I had friends, would not make me happy.
No.
Because loneliness is an internal part of joy that cannot come out. Your mind, and I'm sure there's something I can take to change views in my brain, but it's lonely. I get to a point, now y'all hearing me now, that I don't feel like nothing's good enough. No matter what. I can defend it, but I would rather feed it. I can defend it, but I would rather feed it. You ever get to that point you don't want to do anything?
Sorry.
You got stuff to do, but you just don't want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Listen to me. But if I'm lonely, now listen to me. Because you could preach a month on this, or maybe a year. You go to Psalms 23. I promise you it'll take you out of your loneliness if you begin to worship on it as you read. If I have sinned, Psalms 51 says he reached down out of the miry clay and he set me up. Matthew 8:19 through 31. When I am worried, how many ever worried?
19 through what? I need to write that one down.
8, chapter number 8, 19 through 31.
Okay.
I guess I'm the only one that's ever in that boat.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm anxious, anybody ever anxious?
Mm-hmm.
When I become anxious, I go to Philippians, chapter number 4, verse number 4 through verse number 9. When I am unhappy, Colossians 3:12 through 17. Anybody ever been unhappy?
Yes.
I'm not talking with somebody else. I'm talking about myself. I'm unhappy with me.
Yeah.
Feel like a failure all the time. Feel like I can't get up. Feel like, anxious, stress gets all over me. When I'm in danger, man, I love this scripture. I love this scripture. I love this scripture. When I am in danger, I call on Psalms 91. Yeah. But when I'm depressed, nobody wants to admit you have depression.
I think everybody does that.
You ain't hearing me. I know it. I know people that's got depression. You'll never admit it to nobody else, but you're depressed. I believe every American alive, or maybe in the world, has fought depression at one time or another. Oh, you ain't hearing me. Depression makes you can't get out of bed, can't go to work, can't motivate. You want to sleep all day. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if they're partying in your room, you ain't joining in. You're depressed. Psalms number 27, my pastor committed suicide in my house because of depression. Think about it. I just read the other day the astounding amount of preachers that are committing suicide. Not just, Well, we say, oh, no, it happens in our organization, and it is happening more and more and more and more. It's a hard job because you feel most of the time like a failure. Lack of faith. Anybody have a lack of faith?
Sometimes.
Go to Exodus chapter number 14. Exodus chapter number 14 if you need faith. If you need direction, I'm sorry, back me up. If you need courage, my eyes didn't go to the right spot. If you need courage, I was going to go into each one of these, but I ain't got time. Joshua chapter number 1. My God, you could preach a whole year on this stuff. If you need direction, Psalms, my word, anybody get Psalm 73? Psalms, there's a man, the psalmist, my goodness. 21 through 26, Psalm 73. Seeking peace. My home, hear me out, my home is not feeling peaceful. Let's be transparent. And everybody's looking at me, and I cut it down to the bare minimum. I'm fixing to cut the TV out of the house. I don't like the spirit in my house when I come through that door. I feel it. I don't even have to know what's on, I feel it. Oh, you're hearing me. We ain't got but the basics. I can't even listen to the news.
You don't want to.
The spirit of, it's not, people who used to come in my house and say, it's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. But I don't feel peace. I'm fighting spirits from the moment I walk in the door. I don't like that. You know where them spirits come from? What's coming out of that stupid TV? Everybody's laughing at me, but I'm telling you, it's going out.
What you watch. Amen.
But that spirit of what voices stays after you turn it off. I come in, I feel it. I can't deal with it. It's up to you to regulate your home. It's up to you to make the decision. I like TV for what it is, but not when it brings spirits into my home, and division will there soon follow if you don't take a hold of it. Let me show you something. My oldest grandson talked to me one day about God and the things of God. And as we talked, and as he got more inquisitive and began to understand, I noticed for several days he was different. Because the Spirit of the Lord comes upon me. Huh? That Spirit of the Lord will hover. But if the world is hovering, too much stuff comes in. And all of a sudden we're bickering up. Man, we're too old to bicker.
Yes.
Oh, come on now.
Right.
If you're bickering in your home, there's only one argument we have. Every single, oh my word.
What's for dinner?
What do you want to eat? So my wife and I, one day, are in Lubbock. inside here, I want Olive Garden. We ain't got one. Huh? She says Texas Roadhouse. Well, the more we discuss the to and fro, I don't say a word. I make a right turn. I'm headed for home. Now listen to this. This is how silly we are. Now we weren't mad, we weren't arguing, we weren't nothing like that. I finally said, I really wanted Olive Garden. She goes, oh, I wanted it so bad, but I thought you wanted Texas Roadhouse, that's why I said it.
That sounds like us women.
Oh my goodness.
Now we made a law. Now this will help you. Every day of the week, or every time you go out, it's the opposite person's turn to decide, regardless. Well, that works about 3 seconds, because if it's your turn, you want to go where she wants to go. And if it's her turn, she's going to go where you want to go. And even if you want something different, after you do it once or twice, you can't remember whose turn it is. No, it was your turn. No, I said it's your turn. Things will drive our peace out of our homes. I gotta hurry. If you leaving on a trip, and we're not talking about legalizing marijuana. Psalms 121 if you're leaving on a trip. If you're struggling with loss, I wish everybody was here today. If you're struggling with loss, you go to Luke chapter number 15. Now listen to this one. If you're struggling financially, you go to Psalms chapter number 37. Let me tell you something I did. Now, I was poor. I got an opportunity to do. I can't even say I was mechanically inclined. I just got a chance, got an opportunity to go to work. And now, some of you younger people will remember this. Now, I was working at a donut shop making donuts for $2 an hour. The guy in the church offered me to clean greasy floors and tools for $3.25 an hour. I was gone. Took off my apron. I didn't care if there was donuts in the vat. I was out. I didn't even go back for my last check. I didn't even look back. But man, these other guys over here, they were taking $500 and $600. I was way back in the 70s, $500 to $600 a week home. And I'm taking $100. And an old man came to me and said, son, if you could move that broom faster, and if you could clean them tools faster, and if you came in earlier than anybody else, and if you stayed later than anybody else, that guy over there, he's going to notice that. And he's going to give you a raise. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Money was tight. I was supporting my mom and dad. They couldn't work. And I started going in at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had keys. They actually had alarm systems back then. And I'd go in at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd stay as late as possible till he kicked me out. I would run. When that guy, I don't care how big of a mess he made, back then we didn't have no lifts. We still don't. But anyway, you make a mess. When that guy went out on a test drive, I don't care if he went around the block and came right back in. My goal was to have that spit polished and his tools clean and laying there for him to put up when he drove back in. You know who noticed that? The boss. Said, hey, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. I tell you what, I'm gonna give you $1 an hour. I didn't get the $1 an hour and stop. I went faster and faster and faster. And I began to manage my mind that I could have 6 cars tore down all at the same time, knowing where I was at on each car. And I could jump from car to car to car and finish these 3 while I was waiting parts on these 3, start 3 more while I was doing those 3. I was so hungry that I would come in early in the morning and read customers' notes in cars. And this one was a valve job, and that one was a transmission, and that is an engine overhaul. I grabbed them 3 cars without permission and ripped them all apart. Ain't no mechanic wants to go in the middle of a job. They were so mad at me. They said, you gotta leave something for somebody else. I never stopped. And pretty soon I was the guy making the big money. Listen to me, if you got financial woes, don't show up late. Don't just drag around. Show up early. Stay late. Hey, I've already clocked out, but I'm going to stay and help you. Do the extra. Listen to me. And God will bless you. You bless God, God blesses you. You give God 1/10 of your earnings, and God blesses you. But you've got to have an attitude to be blessed before you can be blessed. Oh, you ain't hearing me. I just left everybody. I'm going to tell you something. God will bless you if you bless Him. I got to stop. My dad, I wasn't old enough to work yet, really. And I was doing donuts. I don't know if you ever worked donuts for $2 an hour, half days, 4 hours a day. It's kind of hard to add that up. Even when gas was 50 cents a gallon or 49. My dad, I'm going to tell you about faithfulness, paid his tithe. Huh? And offerings faithfully. He would cry if he didn't have $1 to put in the offering. I'm telling you the truth. His plant shut down. Huge plant. Oil processing division plant. 40 acres of massive machinery. I know I worked there. It shut down. You know who had a job still? You know what he did? He just rode a bicycle around the 40 acres, checking to make sure nobody was breaking in, running security, making the same pay he was before with all of his benefits, but the plant was shut down. Don't tell me God don't know. And when he had his heart attack, and I wasn't old enough to work, and he was down. My pastor walked up to my mom and said, I want you to bring me your bills every month. How much you need for groceries, how much you need for everything. He didn't have disability, didn't have anything. My pastor paid every single bill until I was old enough to work and take over. Your faithfulness to God, your bosses know and God knows. I gotta stop right there. I will pick it up. You can't outdo God in anything. Whether it's your prayer, whether it's your supplications, You can't outdo God. So we didn't preach a fire. You know what? It's not how hard I preach. It's what is said and how God talks to us. I know God talks to me through His Word. Huh? I pay my tithes. I'm the pastor. I pay my tithes to the church. I don't take one penny out of the church, but I pay my tithes. You know why? Because I don't want to be cursed. I don't want to be cursed. You know why I'm saving that money? Because I know I want a better building. Right? Give it to that. Yeah. Man. God bless you this morning. I'm sorry. I apologize for going so long. We will have church at 6.